Hi guys, welcome to the session. Sorry about that. I just was on a phone call. We've got the markets are open. We've got the FTSE has come down and touched the close gap. It's kind of rejecting. Got an okay entry really, but the concern I have is that the market could probably come down to this kind of triple band situation here. There's two levels down here and then the low. So if we don't reject strongly enough and head back up to this high or even the R1, we could just drift right down, which could be a fairly solid move against us. I'll probably look to exit the position if we're in profit and I don't see any strong positive action. As for the DAX, we haven't really gained enough momentum in any direction. There's not really enough movement. We haven't tapped anything. So it's not really my preferred trading option. I'm just going to drop a stop loss into break-even territory. We've kind of got a nice wick here and we've turned green. So I'm just going to probably let that run and see how it goes while I'm describing today's setups and kind of market conditions. It's all for learning and education purposes for future trading and understanding how the FTSE and the DAX function. So this is all CFD trading. What I do each day while we're watching this trade play out is basically I grab the end of day data and I put it into a script for the Camarillo breakout levels, and I fill in the details on that script for the high, low, and close. So basically just entering the prices from the previous day's trading from end of day data. Now I get that from Norgate, and then that runs through, I run an update each day, and then that goes to EmiBroker, and then from EmiBroker I then just update it and get the data from a daily candlestick chart, which is all end of day data. So then that information, it basically plots based on the script that I've created. It plots these levels, which are the Camarillo breakout levels. Now, often, I'm just going to drop back to yesterday because looks like we got long there. So we got long, it went right up to the other side, the triple bands. Then we came right down, but below the S3. Now I would normally expect a bit of a reaction. We did have one a little bit. It was only about four points, and then it kept drifting down. But then it eventually came back up. We're going to get stopped out on this at break even. That's what I was looking for on the DAX. I'm just going to get long on the DAX there as well. Kind of missed that while I was chatting away. That's all good. This could actually continue downwards. It's a pretty bearish movement on the FTSE, but we'll see what the the DAX does. But basically what we're looking for each day is some sort of reaction off particular levels. These levels are often the outer levels are very good, either targets if we're outside, and we open outside at the London open time, or you can reject off them quite well. And often we can target the close gap, which basically it means that it creates kind of like an efficient market each day so that the market doesn't sort of gap outside of or away from the close gap too often. So we've just attempted to add another position there on the DAX. We have tapped that close gap. I'm expecting a bit of a reaction, and I'll probably close it out fairly quickly if it does come up, because I don't know if it will actually hold. I think it will probably come down to the breakout short in S1. I'm just going to watch that fairly closely as the market continues on. But yeah, basically what we're looking for is rejections off these levels using targets. So for example, if we reject off here and we're looking for a short, we might target either the close or the alternate S1, like the S1 on the other side of the triple bands. We're getting that reaction now, so we've tapped the close. We're getting a bit of a reaction. I'm tempted to close out when I'm in a net profit, which I am now, because I don't want to stay in this really. I'm pretty happy with that. Obviously it could continue up, but I am concerned that it's going to come back down here and touch this breakout short in S1 level. And the difference in price, it's about 100 points. So we got some quite wide trading and about 30 points on the FTSE as well. So we've got some fairly spread out trading conditions as per the pivot levels. Now I could have made a little bit more on this trade, and you'll probably get a lot of professional traders say, look, there's not enough movement in that to warrant getting in, that kind of thing. But we made some profit, we got out, we had a reaction at this close, and the reason I didn't want to stay in was because the lack of strength over on the FTSE. So we tapped the close, kind of made it halfway down, came back up, and then dropped down below the close. So that's not something I really wanted to risk, is the same sort of a situation. And the markets do follow each other from time to time. I didn't want to see that happen again. Could be an opportunity here to get long. We might break down and clean up some volume just below this area here. Here we go. A little bit further. Might not make it, but if we get a little bit further and then we start to see a nice wick, it could be a really good opportunity to get long again. But still concerned that it will come all the way down. I don't know if that's it. Might be pulling some more buyers in first and then sell down. Oh no. It's turning around. Is this the reaction? Yep. Looks like it is. The DAX is back up to its maximum. If we kind of break long here, it's probably going to continue up. Ideally, we have it on the FTSE over here. If we push down a little bit further, soak up the liquidity that's probably sitting just below here. And then we'll come back in for a buy potentially if we see the price action move really quickly. I want to see it just drop past this level first though. We're kind of there. If we drop and then start to wick back up, it could be a long position. Just going to check the other time frames, see if there's any Bollinger type setups, maybe on the half hour. 15 minute, we're outside quite heavily. Pull that back forward. We might just keep going all the way down. That would be the ideal situation because there's nothing really to tell us that we're going to turn back around other than movement in price. That might be it there, but I'm not convinced. See, the market could be just faking it out and then drops back down, but there is a chance, obviously, that this is the reaction that we were looking for, and it continues up. So just trying to understand what the price movement is telling you, where its position is compared to previous trading, and why the value has changed. So why is, say, 10 minutes ago, the price was acceptable at this sort of level up here, and why is it now accepted down here? So what's changed? What are people thinking? What's their reasoning behind getting long or short at each kind of pricing interval? The DAX is really slow today. There's really not much going on at all. Really slow. One thing I just want to show you as well on the DAX, the low on the end of day data was 16,000 flat, which you can see here. So a big round number, so 16,000, so 16,000. So there's a couple of pips difference to the actual CFD brokerage, but came right down and then off the 16,000 mark outside of this S3. There's about 170 odd points long from there. So something to be aware of is that the big round numbers can often have an impact similar to these levels that we put on the charts. Let's have a look. So just waiting for any other little reactions. Got about 0.02%, or sorry, 0.2%. So on a calculator, it comes out 0.002. Got a bit of activity going on here now. It's so tempting to go long, but it's not convincing enough yet. So all the trades from this session were done by the 8-minute mark, so about 8 minutes worth of trading. We were waiting to see if there was any further reactions or anything that we could have traded. Nothing stood out enough. There's not enough motion in the market. It's kind of just drifting down at the moment. So not really, for me, it's not really worth sitting around and waiting. But if I was going to trade the full session, or even say set up some alarms to come back and watch the market, is if price gets down to these levels here, the S1, like the triple band setup on the German, or the triple band setup on the FTSE, if I had an alarm to tell me if price has come down and touched those levels, I might be tempted to get long. If we kind of started to see a reaction using price action. But for me, trading sessions done and dusted, 0.2%, like it's not huge. It's obviously very, very minimal, but for the movement of the market that we've seen, we didn't lose money and we've made a small profit. So not a bad session again, but that's what trading's about, is sitting, it's making those decisions here and there, and then being in the market for when the setup does occur the right way and it does have some momentum behind it. So a lot of the time you're just kind of going back and forward and not really getting much momentum out of it. But then every now and then you'll have a really good setup. Like let's say the market spiked down really quick in 5 minutes outside the Bollinger Bands. Let's say it was outside the 4-hour Bollinger Band as well. Tapped the S1 and then just went straight back long up to, say, the high. That would be an incredible trade. And it's just about being in and ready and watching for these setups every day so that you can take the opportunity when it does arise. But being patient and taking these 0.2 percenters here and there and watching the market and staying out of bad trades, that's what makes a good trader in the long term. That's it from me today, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Please let me know if you prefer the analysis videos or you prefer the live trading where I explain what's going on in terms of my thoughts, what's happening in the market. As you can see here, just one quick note, the market it did breach this little level here and it is moving long. So if you did get in down at these levels, you'd be in profit, but again, there's not really enough movement and it can always drift down. So please do let me know what your thoughts are on these videos. I can do the analysis pre-market ones if you'd prefer. Let me know in the comments, and remember to like and subscribe. Your support means everything. So good luck with your trading and talk soon.